Okay, today we're going to talk a little bit about costume design and different types of costume design. I want to talk to you guys about watching the film Black Panther. Black Panther won an Oscar for their costume design done by Ruth Carter. She was one of the first African Americans to, the first African American to win Best Costume Design for an Academy Award. And her film was stunning. So there's within this film did such a phenomenal job embracing the culture of that was needed in that film. She also, in a way, was so forward thinking with it. And I think sometimes a lot of these films that try and, we talk about embracing the culture of different films, but a lot of the time those type of, tribal things, whether it, I think even like Japanese culture with the kimonos, it's not as something that you're as accustomed to now. It's something that was done a little bit in a past time. And so trying to embrace that culture, but in a forward nowadays way and melding those, I think can be very difficult. And she was so successful at that. Not to mention it is a Marvel superhero film. And so trying to have that aspect of it with the costumes and the heroes and the action and then the movement that's involved in that. And so she had like these aspects of the culture and then yet the warriors and melding that in with the patterns, the designs, the amount of sewing work that must have taken forever on that. She just did such a phenomenal job with that. But there are different types of costume work. So here's a perfect example of like having to design so much of, I'm sure even just the patterns and all that aspect of it. And I don't mean patterns like the patterns of the film, I mean the patterns of the actual like fabric type of things and embracing that and doing all of that is just mind-blowing. I can't even imagine something like that, right? And then you have other ones where you do more period wear. So here in Utah we get a lot of films that do pioneer work, and I even personally couldn't design something like that because I feel like I would be so wrong with the era, the amount of just sewing and legwork and prep work that would need to be done on a project like that to have the full skirts and the bonnets and the layers and the looks. I did watch one recently that was set in that time, and I could definitely tell that the clothing in it wasn't probably 100% true to the time period. There was a couple of pieces or items put together that you could tell were kind of Mod Podge to appear like the time period, but weren't really accurate with the time period. So that's something that's an entirely different type of style of design. There are some costume designers that thrive in it. I worked with one, and you can tell, did just really understand different eras and times and cultures and really thrived in that kind of thing. Also, when you look at modern day, what I do is more modern day films, more just people's clothes that they wear now, and it's its own level of hardness because you're trying to shop in current stores to try and build a certain character, but yet you might need 10, 12, 15 outfits, 20 outfits even, to help keep true to a character's own costume design, help build that character, but yet still trying to shop with whatever you can find right now, whether it's locally or online, and different aspects of that. So costume design, there's a lot of that prep work, and it's more than just designing clothes, right? Because now you have to look at the characters and what they do throughout the film. So one thing I like to look at the prep of the film, and you break down a script, is you have to go, how many outfits do they need? How many story days are there? Okay, this plays over 12 story days. Well, you're gonna need at least 12 outfits. Now there's some days where, they go out on a date that night. Well, then most of the time you change before you go out on a date. Or maybe they're at home at the end of the day and they're now in pajamas or loungewear or different things like that. So it's not just designing and shopping. You have to really break it down into having different outfits for different story days. How do they read? And then you have to also look at the characters that they're with, and having them each have their individual characters, but you have to be very careful with certain things. You can't mix colors. You can't have, a girl and her best friend both wearing purple. You can't have them both wearing the same color. You can't have, the guy and the girl go out on a date, have similar things. They really do have to read different characters, and you want them to each have their own personality, and when they're standing next to each other, you don't want them to blend and do different things. So there's so many different levels and aspects that have to be done in the prep work. And so films like Black Panther, I don't even know how much time was spent in the prep of that, because you're talking how many characters, how many wardrobe changes, how many different looks that needed to happen, and calculating all of those different aspects of how they change, when they change, who are they with, who else in the scene, this tribe and this tribe. It's so mind-blowing to me that it's just such a phenomenal job. So those of you that haven't seen it, you can go to Disney Plus. It was on Netflix for a little while, and I didn't look before I recorded this video, but Black Panther is one of the better of the Marvel series that I love. It's so fun. It's so good. I love that they meld that Marvel superhero with that African culture, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful film. So watch it, pay close attention to the wardrobe and the detailing that she put together of their outfits and costumes and different things like that, and I think that you'll enjoy it. Also, let me know what your favorite costume design is. Is there a film that you just love because you just think that their costumes are just so beautiful, or that it adds so much to it? Let me know if you have a film that you love, and maybe I'll add it. Hello! Hello! Say hello, everyone! We're talking about Black Panther. Yeah, do you like Black Panther?
Yeah, and Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man?
No.
Oh, who? Oh, what does Black Panther do? Like that with his fingers? Show everyone on the camera. What does Black Panther do? Yeah. Is he fast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your SpaghettiOs?
Enjoy.
They were good? Are they in your tummy? Let me
Yeah.
see your tummy. Oh, they're in there!
Yeah.
Why do you have two shirts on, bro? Let's see, what shirt do you have on? You have a Black Panther shirt on today? Paw Patrol. What's this one? DC. No Marvel. But you have a shirt with Black Panther on it, huh? Just Batman.
No.
No Black Panther on there.
Okay, then this is
Okay, tell everyone on the camera, say Wakanda forever.
Apple.
Ever. Okay, you gonna go play?
Yeah.
What are you gonna play?
Mine.
You gonna go play Shmooshkas?
Game.
A game?
Yeah, for now.
Play that? Oh,
Yeah.
a puzzle?
Yeah.
You want me to do the puzzle with you? Can I finish recording this and then I'll be right out?
Yeah.
Okay, can you close my door? Okay, bye.
No. It's white.
Okay, when I'm done, I'll come back.